Now the question is where the petitioners fraudulent 34, where allegedly fraudulent 34A came from. And I'll return to that at the end. Let's just look at Kibagare polling station. The next slide, please. If you look at the signatures, one of the signatures is an ODM agent, Mr. Eric Atuma. Now the petitioner in petition number 5 has filed many affidavits in response to the respondents, including the first respondent. They have not responded to this. They have not challenged this, but they put it out there as an illustration of what games were played either by the referee or in concert with the first respondent. So the first thing you note is the signatures of the two agents. The next thing I'd invite you to look at is what the votes were according to the IEBC portal. And Malanfe Mahat Somane invited you. The portal is up and running. Check this. What was the total of votes cast, or what was it for the two candidates in Kibagare polling station, stream 2 of 7? Raila Amolo Odinga, 244. Mr. William Samoei Ruto, 114. Let's go to the next slide. If you look at the affidavit of the presiding officer, he's produced a similar form 34A. It says it gives the same outcome. The next slide. The UDA agent, same 244 and 114. Then you have the next slide, the Azimio agent, again 224, 114. The next slide is the affidavit of their own agent. He says, what is in Mr. Odinga's affidavit is not what I submitted to the party. They decide, we're not going to respond to that. But we expect the court somehow to determine that there were fraudulent Form 34As. Is this right? Let's go to the next slide. What is in Mr. Odinga's affidavit? Look at the last column. It says for Raila Amolo Odinga, 244 votes. For Mr. William Samoei Ruto, 38. What happened to the other votes? Something is fundamentally wrong. And this is just one document. We have filed other affidavits which illustrate what happened here. Let's look at the next slide. The law requires the IEBC to deliver certain forms. I'd invite the court to look at the form for this particular location, this particular polling station, and see whether what has been set out in Mr. Odinga's affidavit is correct. Let's go to the last slide. What then are we telling you? The numbers between the IEBC portal, the IEBC presiding officer, the UDA agent, the Azimio agent, and the Form 34A from Bomas are all aligned. Question we must ask is, where did the form that is presented by Mr. Odinga come from? Arnold Odinga, so that we do not mix up names. I think this must be what the late Issa Juma of Super Wanyika had in mind when he penned the words, sisi twajua anafanya biashara, lakini biashara anajua mwenyewe. Only Mr. Odinga can tell us where this came from. And the other 40, they are not part of what was actually the product of the people expressing their will. So In a nutshell, even without trying to demonstrate to you how the other irregularities and alleged infringements of the law have not affected the law, the petitioners fall far short of what is expected. Infringements. This is where you apply the duck test. If it looks like a duck, if it swims like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. They are saying we are here to show you we are independent. Are they? With respect, their conduct demonstrates otherwise. In a word, it is my humble submission that the petitioners have not demonstrated there were any irregularities or illegalities. Forget the magnitude. They really haven't demonstrated any. I'd urge you to dismiss these petitions. Ordinarily in these sort of cases, and I'm not telling you what to do one way or the other because of the nature of the matters,